a players only meeting can have value. It can. It doesn't always, but sometimes it
Oh,
does.
it can. I've never known a players only meeting to do some fake captain bringing it up to pacify the front office. Get out of here, man. Don't nobody want to hear that. Do your job. That's all you got to do. Just do your job.
Welcome to episode 7 of the Schultz Report. I'm your host, NFL Insider Jordan Schultz. In today's show, we're talking exclusive news I'm hearing from around the league. And with the trade deadline looming, teams already dealing, I'll let you know what I'm hearing on the wire. Keyshawn Johnson, of course, checking in, and I know he'll want to talk about USC's big win over Michigan. And Falcons running back Tyler Allegier, fresh off a statement win, joins us as well to talk about his journey. Lock in, and let's go. Let's talk about my partner, Fanatics Sportsbook. Now, during the San Francisco at Tampa Bay game, a star rookie wide receiver who I interviewed a few weeks ago, he goes down in the second quarter with an injury. Not only did Fanatics Fair Play void all affected straight bets instantly, if that prop was part of the parlay or a same-game parlay your bet played on. I got the numbers here. I'm seeing hundreds on hundreds of losing bets that Fanatics Sportsbook flipped into winning bets. Sunday afternoon, Fanatics Sportsbook's fair play policy saved 39% of all same-game parlays on that game. That's legendary. This injury would have made you lose on most other sports books. Why would you risk your bets if you don't have to? Fanatics first half fair play all season long, every pro game. Don't wait for that bad beat with other books. It's time to switch now. I'm telling you, winning hits different at Fanatics Sportsbook. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Let's start off with the horror show that is the New York Jets. The Jets had negative 10 net passing yards against the Broncos in Week 6. That number, negative 10 passing yards, was an all-time franchise worst and also the worst performance of any team in the last 27 years. Of course, this has led to questions around the future of Justin Fields. Now, after the game, Aaron Glenn was upset when a reporter asked him about Justin Fields. Now, to be clear, I would have been upset too. I believe that Justin Fields needs to be the future of this franchise, at least for the foreseeable future. You sign him to a 2-year deal. He is the best chance for this team to win football games. The problem is that both Fields and the team itself are not being put in the best position to win. Case in point, Denver Broncos last week in London. Aaron Glenn calls for a fake punt that the Jets convert right before halftime. Then, instead of going for a Hail Mary, he simply lets time expire. That's when Garrett Wilson, their star wideout, got really upset. You saw Aaron Glenn put his arm around Wilson. Some words were exchanged. Garrett then kind of shook his head. He was confused. And then afterward, he said, I didn't know what the plan was. That's the problem right now with both Aaron Glenn and the Jets as a whole. It's not Justin Fields. It's the coaching. When you call for a fake punt and you get it, and then you don't go for the Hail Mary, which is the reason you had the fake punt to begin with, and then after the game, when asked about it, you simply say, well, we were getting the ball in the second half. That's why I didn't want to go for the Hail Mary. None of that adds up. None of it makes sense. And if you're a player, you're now questioning the coaching. And when that happens, things go awry, especially in the NFL, which is a week-to-week league. So what I'm not hearing is that anything will happen with Justin Fields. He will be under center for the Jets moving forward. It will not be Tyrod Taylor. The Jets are in a lot of trouble. They're 0-6, and Aaron Glenn has been an unmitigated disaster. The Bengals traded for Joe Flacco before Week 6. In his first game with the Bengals, a 27-18 loss to the Packers went a little better than I expected. But with that said, it is my understanding that there are people within the organization that still feel the team should be in the market for another quarterback as a level of insurance. Now, to be clear, I don't think the Bengals are going to make a move for another quarterback. I think it was a lot for them to go out and get a Joe Flacco, especially when they essentially had to give up a 5th-round pick. Now, this is a Bengals team that after winning 2 straight has now dropped 4 in a row. They want to stay afloat. They probably believe that Flacco gives them the best chance. In fact, I think we all think that he does as well. So despite the fact that there are certain people within the organization that would like to get one more quarterback, I don't believe it's going to happen. The Bengals are not traditionally a team that's hyperactive at the trade deadline. I think the Flacco move was a big move for them, especially because they essentially gave up a 5 to do it. In other words, it's Joe Flacco's team until Joe Burrow comes back. Another L and another post-game press conference controversy for the Miami Dolphins. This week, it's Tua Tagovailoa who hit the podium to question the leadership within the organization and the leadership among the players. It's not just the fact that the Dolphins are 1-5. That's disappointing in itself. But it's the leadership or lack thereof that has persisted within this organization for a very, very long time. Now, I'm not going to put all the blame on the GM Chris Grier or the head coach Mike McDaniel, but a lot of it needs to go toward them, specifically McDaniel. There have been a lot of examples of players telling me off the record that they do not feel the organization or the locker room is together. There's not leadership, there's not accountability. All of that ultimately falls on the head coach. And McDaniel, who is by all intents and purposes a very good play caller, a very good offensive mind, has not been able to keep this building in check. Now, to be clear, Tua is a captain. He is a big leader of this team, so some of the onus goes on him. But McDaniel is the head coach, and ultimately in this league, you live and die by your head coach. So despite the fact that they're 1-5, questions swirling around their leadership, it is my understanding that owner Stephen Ross is not looking to make a move anytime soon, which means the Dolphins are stuck with Mike McDaniel. On last week's show, I blasted NFL officiating, saying it was simply not good enough, and I suggested a solution. Let's just fine them. Now, if it were up to me, the entire referee crew from this past weekend's Patriots-Saints game would have been fined as well. Handsomely, I might add. The officiating was so bad that I had to turn the game off. Full stop. It was simply unwatchable. But I'm clearly not the only one who feels this way. The entire world watching felt that way. And to make matters even worse, Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel called the officiating comical.
I mean, there's not much. It becomes comical at a point.
And listen, that's being nice. That's being really nice. The officiating was downright awful. For most NFL games, I can count on one hand the amount of bad calls. On this game, it might take 2 or more because I had 3 that were simply unbelievable. Pop Douglas, big touchdown called back. Stephon Diggs, Keyshawn Boutte, you had 3 OPI calls that I've never really seen before. It's not a good look when a head coach, especially one with the stature of Mike Vrabel, is downright laughing after a game because of how bad the officiating was. It's not tenable, and Roger Goodell has to do something before it gets even worse. Last but certainly not least, the Kansas City Chiefs are back, ladies and gentlemen. This week, after a statement 30-17 home win against the Lions in Week 6, the Chiefs offense will become even more dangerous with the return of Rashee Rice. Rice was on a historic pace last season before the knee injury. Now, he might not be a household name yet, but jump on the bandwagon now because the Chiefs are going to ingratiate him very fast. This is not going to be, let's get him involved early, maybe some bubble screens, see what he can do. No, Rashee Rice is a bona fide number 1 wideout. And from everything I've been told, he was as dominant gets throughout the preseason, throughout training camp. He is fully cleared health-wise. Obviously, he comes off the suspension. And now Rice has the opportunity to morph into the household name that many folks within the Chiefs organization, none more important than Patrick Mahomes, believe he will become. The NFL trade deadline is just over 3 weeks away, and I expect to see a ton of deals before the clock hits 4 p.m. on November 4th. Let's start off with Titans superstar defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons. Now, from what I've been told, the Titans do not want to move Simmons. That doesn't mean they won't listen, and it certainly doesn't mean teams aren't calling. Now, Simmons would fetch a massive price, and if you're Tennessee at 1-5, you certainly have to at least consider the opportunity to move someone like him. Look, the reality is this season's a wash. Brian Callahan's fired after going 4-19, but you do have Cam Ward, the number 1 overall pick, and it would certainly behoove the organization to stockpile as many draft picks as possible. I will tell you this, though, regardless of whether or not the Titans move Simmons, they will be one of the more active teams at the deadline. The market is also full of teams looking for a quarterback, and with Jackson Dart taking complete control of the New York Giants. That means we could also see Russell Wilson doubt from Big Blue. Now, from what I've been told, teams have called the Giants about Wilson. So far, those have been more preliminary discussions. But Wilson's time in New York is short. Wilson's cheap, he's proven, and maybe most importantly, he gives a potential suitor the opportunity to at least compete in games. Now, league sources tell me that the Giants like the idea of having both Wilson and Jameis Winston not only in the locker room, but in quarterback meetings in the quarterback room with Jackson Dart. But those same league sources also tell me that the phone lines are absolutely open when it comes to Russ. Let's keep it in New York and the dreadful New York Jets. Now, running back Breece Hall took to Instagram and dropped a free 20 hashtag on one of his recent posts, and that should tell you all you need to know about how he really feels. Now, Breece Hall, friend of the show, is also a very, very good young running back. He's in a contract year. There have been teams calling the Jets. Now, the problem is that they lost Braylon Allen for quite some time. He's on IR. Had they not lost him, I would have said that maybe New York would have been more open to moving him. Now, from what I'm hearing, this is actually similar to the Titans situation with Jeffrey Simmons in that the organization wants to keep Breece Hall, but they will listen. Running backs typically do not fetch a lot on the open market. You can look at the Brian Robinson Jr. trade from Washington to San Francisco as an example. But Breece Hall is very young, he's very good, and he's got a ton of potential. And to be clear, the Jets season is a wash. They're 0-6. You might as well try to get some value while you still can. Is Operation Get Jackson Dart a wide receiver underway? Despite the Giants' receiver room taking a massive hit with the loss of Malik Neighbors, both Dart and rookie running back Cam Skadaboo are carrying this offense to wins. So could Big Blue make a key addition before the trade deadline? Now, league sources tell me that GM Joe Schoen has been calling around trying to find another weapon for Dart. Who could it be? One name to watch for, Rashid Shaheed. A lot of people have mentioned Chris Olave. I'm not sure New Orleans is willing to part with Olave considering how well he's playing and his youth. But Rashid Shaheed, who's averaging about 16 yards per catch and is one of the premier young deep threats in football, could just be available. He's a free agent after the season, and New Orleans could probably fetch a decent price for him. The Giants need more speed in their offense. It might be Shaheed. Keep in mind, it's rare for a number one wideout to be traded at the deadline, and clearly Spencer Rattler, who's played well for the Saints, has already formed a very strong connection with Chris Olave. Rashid Shaheed, who is not the only name on the Giants' radar, is, however, the type of downfield threat that could move the needle for this offense, as they saw firsthand when he went for an 87-yard touchdown against them a couple weeks ago. So yes, to be very clear, from everything I'm hearing around the league, the New York Giants are in the market for a wide receiver. And now for some very important injury updates. Let's start with Tampa Bay's star rookie wide receiver, Emeka Egbuka. Now, he's been dealing with the hamstring injury, and as I've been told, basically, he's getting extra testing to make sure it's not worse than it is, but the Bucs don't plan to put him on IR. I think it's going to be a couple weeks for Egbuka, which is a killer blow, not only how well he's played, but obviously Chris Godwin got re-injured. They're without Mike Evans, Jalen McMillan, Bucky Irving, a lot of key injuries on that Bucs offense, and Emeka Egbuka will definitely miss some time. This is a great redemption story. After tearing 3 ligaments in his knee during his breakout season, Dallas Cowboys standout linebacker DeMarvion Overshown is nearing his return, according to multiple sources. Now, he is targeting November, and the reason that's so significant is when you think about Dak Prescott and how well he's played, this is going to inject some real and much-needed life into the Cowboys' locker room, into their defense. He's a big-time leader, so Dallas expects to get Overshown back for their stretch run. Let's welcome in the pride of the University of Southern California, Mr. Trojans football, Keyshawn Johnson. Welcome to the show. Key, I mean, you're wearing the shirt. I would say it's a good win for the Trojans against Michigan. I know you want to talk about that game. What did you see from your favorite team?
It's not just a good win for the program. It's a brand, right? Michigan's a brand. People think Michigan, oh, they're great. They won a national title 2 years ago. They came in with high hopes. They're paying a quarterback a ton of money. It's a good win for Lincoln Riley. Okay, that's who was a good win for because he needed that
A
going to
brand win.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needed a brand win. Going to Chicago, losing to Illinois, that's a problem, right? You come back home, you play a Michigan team that many people thought with this young quarterback in Underwood would be good. So it's not. Look, they didn't beat Ohio State. Okay, they didn't beat Ohio State. They didn't beat Oregon. They beat Michigan. Michigan's a team that on the year they go into Oklahoma, they lose. They go into Nebraska, they win. So it's a good win for Lincoln.
You know who needed a good win was James Franklin.
Yeah, that's not a good situation.
I mean, this is an NFL show, but when James
No, it's
Franklin
totally
loses,
an NFL show.
yeah, but when James Franklin loses 3 straight games, capped off by a home loss to Northwestern, I mean, I don't care if the buyout's $1 billion. You knew there was action.
The night that they lost the game to Northwestern, that night prior to him being relieved of his duties, I tweeted out
I saw.
that it's probably time to think about a buyout. The next morning, they bought him out and it was over with. You just could see it, the tea leaves falling. And I know it's an NFL show. So when we're talking about the NFL, right, Jordan, there's 2 names that come to mind for me that could replace him and should replace him. And I know everybody's thinking about Matt Rule and things of that nature. Matt Rule, he likes Nebraska, but there's an NFL connection with Matt Rule, so I bring that name up. I also bring the name up in Joe Brady, although last night for Joe Brady didn't really fare well. But
Joe Brady, the Bills offensive coordinator, he's very well respected. And obviously, I mean, yeah, that's a good name. So you think those 2 guys could be a good fit?
those 2, right? I think Joe Brady had been there before. Obviously, Matt Rule played there, whatnot. But here's a interesting name for me. And I know he's at Boston College, and Boston College is just playing football right now. Revisit Bill O'Brien because you can't fault Bill O'Brien from leaving Penn State and going to the National Football League. But if there's an opportunity to leave Boston College to come back to Penn State, I think many people, and I'm not a nitty lion at all, but it just seems like many people would go, okay, because he took over a program that was in shambles, but all the Sandusky situation that went on, he took that program over and kind of breathed some life into it. And then obviously he takes the Houston Texans job. He would probably still be there if the Houston Texans job wasn't available.
Pivoting to another shit show, the New York Jets. Now,
Yeah.
I know you're close with Aaron Glenn. You played together. Key, what's
Yep.
going on in New York? They're 0-6. Here's the part that kills me. The defense hasn't been what I thought it would be, and they just had their first takeaway of the season in Week 6. What's going on?
I think it's, as I said to you a couple weeks ago, everything is an adjustment period, Jordan. We can't get caught up. And I know New York is bigger than everything. It's New York, it's the media, and all. I get it. But let's take a step back for a minute and realize that when you're taking over a program that was a shit show and you're trying to indoctrinate your system, your style, who you are, your coaching staff into this, it takes time. It just really does. And I think because of the success that Aaron Glenn had on the defensive side of the ball to a degree in Detroit and the success Detroit had as a team, many people felt like, okay, we got a young, established, veteran type quarterback in Justin Fields. But what they didn't realize is that you have a first time offensive play caller in Tanner Engstrand. Is that it?
Yeah, yeah.
Engstrand. It's the first time offensive coordinator. What I would have liked to see Aaron Glenn do is bring a veteran, even if he wasn't going to call the plays, right? Let's think about Tom Moore down at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, an old wizard. If he found him an old wizard guy to just hang around with Tanner and kind of teach him the ropes of calling plays, the offense looks different. On top of that, Garrett Wilson can't be your wide receiver 1. He can be your 1.5. He can be your 2. You can match it up however you want to. I think that they have to, whether it's before the trade deadline or in the offseason, they got to go get another guy so that Garrett Wilson can slide inside and play the slot, which I believe is his natural position in the National Football League as an every down guy because he's slight. Okay, he's not a big, strong guy. He can take advantage of linebackers and safeties and third corners. You got him out there on an island by himself. He has no other help. None at all. And Alan Lazar, I mean, like, come on, seriously? Like, nothing against Alan Lazar, but that doesn't work. You got a young Mason Taylor at tight end. You got to keep developing him. Whatever you do, don't move on from Breece Hall. Give Breece Hall the
I
football a
agree.
little bit more. Give him the football a little bit more. I think they can get it turned around, Jordan. I really do. I just don't think it's going to be a 7-win season, right? It'll be a 3-win type season, and that's pretty much it.
What they sold Aaron Glenn as, I'm not going to say as the savior, but certainly as to bring accountability and professionalism, all those adjectives to a franchise that hasn't had it. The Garrett Wilson scenario on Sunday in London, I thought was pretty bad. I mean, basically he goes.
What was the situation? He walked up to a guy at halftime and was having a conversation
No.
with
It
his
wasn't
coach?
that. The conversation, I don't care about that. It's he goes for a fake punt, he gets it, and then instead of going for the Hail Mary, he lets the clock run out, thus mitigating the fake punt. And Garrett Wilson says afterward, I don't know what the hell's going on. That was a bad look.
Now, and you're gonna have young players that speak to the media because people like you will put microphones in the faces of them, ask them questions right after a game, and it will turn into a shit show, as you say. Look, let's not lean on the Garrett Wilson situation. I sat at home at hell. I'm on the West Coast. I was up at
5
6
a.m.
a.m.
Yeah.
No, I was up at like 6 a.m. Prepared to watch the game. And when they did that at halftime, I'm like, what the hell is going
It
on?
was bad, man.
But that's because he's a first-time head coach. You have to, I just said, you have to have somebody on that sideline or upstairs that is a veteran type guy that can lean in and say, hey, man, here's what we need to do. You know, you got coach, the defensive coordinator, Wilkes. You have Steve Wilkes there, but Steve Wilkes is trying to, he's trying to save his own rear end from a defense that's not as great. So you got to make some adjustments. You go back to Detroit and you look at Dan Campbell's first year. That wasn't.
No, that was awful.
Come on
that
now.
was awful.
It happens. You look at the two guys, I say two guys because Bill Callahan and his son, so I always put
Ryan
them together.
Callahan, 4-19, that's as bad as it gets.
You look at that. That happens. First-time head coaches sometimes struggle in situations. Here's the smartest thing that I've ever thought in terms of coaches. I look at Sean McVay when he took the job over from the Rams. First thing he did is he hired Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips was a successful head coach, defensive coordinator in the National Football League. So he was able to lean on him about certain things until he kind of took the training wheels off after a year and kind of ran with it on his own. I look for Aaron Glenn and the New York Jets to completely revamp the staff next year and, kind of figure out, because I don't think, short of the Woody Johnson just waking up in the middle of the night in a full pool of sweat, I consider Aaron Glenn will be back there next year, at least at the start of the season, before the noise starts to the point where he needs to move on from me.
Well, that's a good segue into Mike McDaniel because he's been there a while. To me, this Dolphin ship has been sinking pretty fast.
Bye-bye, Mike.
When do they?
You kind of give him to the end of the year, and the reason you do that is because the Buffalo Bills are kind of falling back a little bit.
But New England's going up.
But even though, I was going to say that, even though New England is a 4-2 football team, it seems like that they're continuing to get better. You still got a fighter's chance, a puncher's chance to still kind of hang around. No, you. It's too early to say bye-bye. You're not out of it. You're not mathematically out of it.
Wow.
So until you're mathematically out of it,
Neither are the Titans.
You might as well just run with it. No, the Titans are.
What did you make when Tua, after the game, basically says there's not enough leadership within this locker room? There's a couple of takeaways. One is he's the captain. So some onus probably goes on him, but I mean, that's on the head coach, no?
I'm a little tired of Tua, to be honest with you. Ever since he got his money, his whole body language and everything has changed. I mean, everything's changed. Like think about it. When he came from the University of Alabama, those first 3 or 4 years, he was nice, just calm, and didn't say a whole lot. Then all of a sudden, in the last 2 years, he's a locker room lawyer. He's like always saying something, whether it's Tyreek Hill and him getting at it now, all of a sudden it's the other teammates and the players. You can take it many different ways. I've never been a player that felt like it was necessary to have a players only meeting. What does that do? I don't know. I was one of those dudes that wouldn't. I'd be like, man, please. I'm sitting in my locker. When
Yeah, I'm
y'all
not
done, call
going.
me.
You're just not going to show up. Yeah.
What the fuck do I need to go to a players only meeting for? For what? You know what you did wrong, and you know what you got to get corrected. What's the point?
So I didn't play in the NFL, but I did play college basketball. I did. You know, you
I never
discredit.
said anything.
Yeah,
I
but
never
what I was
said
going to say is
anything.
there is something to be said about a players only meeting. It's not all the time, but sometimes it can create, because the coach is not there to get in the way. Essentially, a players only meeting can have value. It can. It doesn't always, but it sometimes.
Oh,
it
it can. I've never known a players only meeting to do shit. Never. I've never known it to do anything. Some fake captain bringing it up to pacify the front office. Get out of here, man. Nobody want to hear that. Do your job. That's all you got to do. Just do your job.
And you don't
Because
think Tua's been doing his job?
Tua's done what he could do. All right? He needs help. It ain't all on him. Some of it is his. A lot of it is the coaching. Okay? It just is. But he said what he said, so we going to draw a certain conclusion from what he said. Whether he was talking about the players, wink, wink, or he was talking about the coaching staff, wink, wink. That's all I'm saying. But that player only crap, that doesn't, man, please. Stop. And anybody that sit up here and try to tell you, Jordan, players only meet, man, we get the hell out of here. Because you only talking to 2 or 3 people. You ain't talking to the whole team because the whole team don't play. And the whole team ain't messing up. So just talk to that individual directly. Hey,
Privately,
man,
right?
you gotta do a better job. You gotta get open. You gotta cover better. That's all. Player only means hilarious.
That's.
Why are you laughing?
I'm just thinking about like 27-year-old Keyshawn or 22 whatever, and they're
Oh
like, all right,
God.
players only meeting. You're like, yeah, I'm not going.
It's not that I'm not going. It's just y'all go ahead and let me know what happened.
Right.
I don't need to tell you I'm not going.
Yeah.
And if I go because Derek Brooks says, man, you got to come, I'm going to sit in the back of the room at the top somewhere. I'm not even, because you're not
It's
talking to me.
right. I'm
You're not talking
doing
to
my
me.
job. Right. I'm doing
I'm
my.
doing my motherfucking job.
Yeah.
Period.
Fair. That's fair. Emeka Ibuka, he has a hamstring injury. He is going to miss time.
Yes. Yeah.
My question
see.
isn't even. Yeah, it's not about how good he is or whatever. It's really when you have a hamstring injury as a receiver. I mean, obviously it impacts your top end speed, but like, just how much does that hamper you, especially if it's like relatively significant?
You know, Jordan, I've never had hamstring issues. I've never missed a game due to injury. To say it to that degree, I really have never experienced it, but I've seen my teammates, and most of them can't go full tilt. They can't go vertical. They can go sideline to sideline, but they can't stretch the field because they can't open up.
So
They're
top end
afraid that if
speed.
they open up, top end speed, something will pop. So it's a little bit different.
Not
Because
fun.
as a receiver, one thing you do need is your legs and your hands. If you don't have those together, you ain't gonna be no good.
Who's an example you knew someone that had one but not both?
Oh, it's a ton of them. You see those dudes that can run, those fast
Darius
receivers, but
Hayward
they can't.
Bay.
I'm not getting ready to throw darts at Darius Hayward Bay. He hadn't done anything to us. Leave
No,
him
I know. I'm
alone.
just saying, like you said, a really fast guy that can't, maybe
Well, most guys that are fast,
track guys.
extremely fast, can't catch. They can't catch. They forgot this. And so as you see, many people always talking about who's fast in the league, and this that dude can't catch.
He ran
I don't give a damn how.
4.28.
Okay, but he can't catch.
All the people like me. Did you see that 4.37? Man,
can't catch.
He
can't
could
catch.
go.
Some of the greatest wide receivers in the league never ran 4.3.
Or 4.4 even.
Ever.
What was your 40? You were like a 4.4 flat, 4.38?
I didn't run 4.38. I went 4.44 and I think 4.46.
Yeah, I mean, that's
200, but I was 220 pounds. And
yeah, but so was Julio.
But Julio was faster.
Yes.
He was faster than me. But that's okay. I did the same things. It wasn't no. I mean, I scored touchdowns. I caught balls.
Megatron.
Same thing. Caught balls, touchdowns. Did the same thing. If look, 4-3 and 4-4 or 4-4 and 4-6, basically the same. You talking about this?
But 4-3 is different.
It's 4-3 is different. 4-3, you're really talking this, right? I mean, it goes out here. But that 4-4 and 4-6, all that's right in here. It's all pretty much the same. You know, you're never running a 40-yard route, so it doesn't even matter.
I know you are in on Jackson Dart, as am I. What
I
we've
like
been
Jackson.
talking.
He should have stayed at SC.
Yeah, imagine that. I know the Giants are trying to get a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Because obviously they lost Neighbors. Would you say like they need a speed guy? Like what would you do for them if you're trying to get one more wideout?
I'd have to get him a Neighbors, a Malik Neighbors. I have to
Well,
find.
you're not going to find that.
I understand you're not going to find him, but there's somebody in somebody's roster that could do some of the same sort of things that's on somebody's roster. There's somebody. I don't know who that somebody is, but I can. Is there a?
Well, for example, everyone's been talking about Chris Olave. I don't think New Orleans wants to move him.
Chris Olave would be a good one. Could you pull off a Chris Olave and a Jacoby Myers?
Myers is another. I like Myers. That's a good.
Yeah,
and he did request a trade before the season.
Yeah, but Jacoby Myers,
he's not a speed guy. He's a
wide receiver one is not it. That you could get a receiver one or two and pair him with that. Who else was out there that I could think of? You're not going to get T. Higgins or nobody like that because they just paid him, so that's not going to happen.
The guy that we talked about on this show earlier was Rashid Shaheed, who's averaging 16 yards a catch and is going to be a free agent. The bottom line is the Giants want to get another receiver.
Yeah, maybe there's a Romeo Doubs sighting that all of a sudden, if Green Bay starts to get their receivers back, that all been injured for them, maybe that room becomes rich, and you could swindle the New York Giants for a second round pick. At the same time, you could extend Romeo Doubs cheaper earlier than if he was to sit and wait later. So those are just some names at the top of my head that I can think of without really sitting down and studying it up.
Speaking of wide receivers, the guy that I'm really excited about, Rashee Rice, comes back. He was on a pretty historic pace last season. Mm-hmm. And the Chiefs have almost quietly gone 3-3. I think they're very dangerous, especially with him back. And assuming he's 100%, which from my understanding he is everything and more, what do you think he'll do for that offense and for Mahomes?
He'll start off the way he finished prior to his injury. He'll start off, and that offense will still be, the same as it's always been. Rashee Rice is a hell of a player. He was off to a good start. He gave him snack, crackle, pop. But I would say when you look at them getting him back 3-3, I still don't believe that they'll win the division. I think that run that they had of winning the division probably is over with, but they're going to be a tough out in the playoffs. I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like somebody else will steal the division away from them. Maybe like a Denver will steal it by like one game or something silly like that.
When you haven't played football in that long, Rashee hasn't played football in over a year. Even if you're 100% healthy, what's how long does it take to really be the same?
Well, I think with him going through football acclimated things as he's gotten healthier into the preseason training camp, things of that nature, it's all about mental. How mentally tough is he when he steps on the field and everybody's going 100 miles an hour? Is he mentally tough enough to realize that nothing's going to happen to him again? Or is he shell-shocked and think that something's going to happen to him? Because if he thinks there's something going to happen to him, he'll never be the same. If he just says, okay, I got injured and I go out there and I play, I don't care, he'll be the same guy. It's all here. It's all in the mind.
Best way to overcome those mental obstacles?
I think if you just get hit, you get hit once or twice, and then once you get hit once or twice, you'll probably be done with it. Not afraid that something's going to happen to you.
Yeah, but there's a feel and just, I don't know, when you haven't played in that long any sport, it's hard to come back.
It is and it isn't because it's mental. It's all mental. Think about Jordan in your career as a basketball player.
Career.
Watching watching sports and covering sports, players that are great that got injured and they came back and was still great. Think about their mental capacity and their toughness. You just think about those players. They came back and then they boom. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care who it is. When they're mentally tough, you're gonna come back because you're not thinking about, oh, what if? Or you think about guys that were really good and got injured and never came back the same, and think about their mentality. People go, oh, they weak-minded anyway. That's the reality of it.
Like you.
I never was injured to the degree that I needed to worry about whether or not I was mentally tough or not.
Well, that's because you never went shark diving.
That's for the white people, not for me.
The white Jewish people.
Well, I mean, I just said white people. I didn't, I didn't
I
say
said
whether it
it
was
because I
Jewish
can
or
count. I know a lot of Jewish friends who seem to have this inclination to go cage diving with sharks.
well, that's on them.
It is.
I won't be doing it. No, that. But I'm sure you got some buddies, some of your buddies that you went to
Jump out
school
of a
with or
fucking
grew up with
airplane.
that
Yeah, that's smart.
that jump out of airplanes and
Yeah,
do
that's
some
smart.
of that
Good
wild,
idea.
courageous ride bulls.
Yeah.
Do all this weird stuff.
Before I let you go, I guess the most important question is: are you believing in the USC Trojans this year? Are they a playoff contender, or what do you think?
I think they are a contender as we sit today. I'll let you know on Saturday night
Who do they got Saturday? Who do
whether
they
they're
got?
contenders. We play Notre Dame at Notre Dame. So
That's
that's going to
tough.
say a lot. It's going to be tough. But our offense is high octane. If we can stop them from running the ball,
Great running back,
then
Jeremiah Love. Yeah, he's.
that's what I'm saying. If we can stop them from running, then it's going to be a fight, though. That's for sure. It's going to be a fight. This is a big test again for Lincoln
37-3
Riley.
Irish.
Sometimes you say some smart stuff, and sometimes you say some real dumb shit.
I know you'll be on that game, Trojans -2 or whatever. It's going to be a tight spread.
No, I'm gonna raise it. I gotta plus it.
Oh, you'll plus it. You'll flip it.
Oh, I got to. I have to.
You'll pay the juice.
I have to. Because I know what it's like going into South Bend.
Tough.
I was there 2 years ago, and I watched what happened with Caleb's last year. And it's like, yeah, this is not really what we want to be doing.
Well, Key, I appreciate you taking the time as always. We love having you, and we'll see you next week.
All right, buddy. See you.
Let's welcome to the show Falcons running back Tyler Allegier, fresh off a statement win Monday night against the Bills, and of course, an angry and vicious touchdown run to kick things off. Thrilled to be joined by Tyler Allegier, comes off another big win against the Bills, had a beastly touchdown. I'll start with that. Tyler, at what point in that run against Buffalo on Monday night do you realize I might get in the end zone here?
It was a for sure. There was no way. It was like a mindset. Like, there's no way I'm getting stopped at the one. I can't. It's because he had some speed. I was thinking of just hitting that corner, hitting the pylon, but I was like, he's kind of fast. So I was like, you know what? He's not gonna try and tackle me. So just ran him over, man.
And then you lowered your shoulder. So at what point do you make the decision to lower the shoulder?
It was that 5-yard line. I was like, just gotta hit him. Just gotta run him over, bro.
So in high school at Henry J. Kaiser High, 5,000 yards, school record, 56 touchdowns, but you were not heavily recruited. How did you end up at BYU, which is not, by the way, a small program? That's a major program.
Had my visit over there, and then they offered that preferred walk-on spot, and then I just felt like I just had to be here. Yeah, I just had to be there, so I was just excited for the opportunity, and then I just bet on myself. I think that was the most important thing, and then then got a scholarship after my second year, and then had 2 pretty great years.
They put you at linebacker. Were you frustrated? Is that a disappointing conversation? We're going to move you to defense?
Honestly, I just wanted to get on the field. Yeah, because they brought in 2 grad transfers. That pushed me down to depth chart at running back, and then it was like after the 3rd game, they were like, "Hey, the offense ain't using you. We'll take you." And then I was like, "Shoot, let's do it. Let's do it. As long as I can get on the field, start producing, do whatever I can to help us win. Sure, I'll do whatever it is."
What's the craziest thing you've seen Bijan Robinson do? Because I know he does a lot of crazy shit in practice.
bro, he does some crazy stuff. I mean, I know you watched the game yesterday, and he was doing some crazy things. Oh my gosh, when he stopped on the dime, made a guy miss going full speed. No, not everybody could do that. Like Bijan's playing at an elite level, and I just like it's just so amazing just to see him grow every day and every game, just to be able to just compete and work with him. So it's been so awesome just watching him grow.
Has he done stuff in practice that is even crazier than the game?
I wouldn't say crazier than the game because he works on his craft during practice. So in the game, it's just natural movements for him.
How about Drake?
Drake's always insane, man. Drake's always freaking insane. So he does the same thing. He be practicing his one-handed catches, these low balls in practice as well. But he just makes it like just clockwork. So I feel like everyone is just on their P's and Q's right now, just working on the details and it's showing when it needs to be shown.
You guys are number one in rushing. How much are you and Bijan talking during the game, Tyler? Like on what you're seeing, what you're experiencing? What's the conversations?
It's like every time we get off the field, like, hey, would you like even on my runs, I was like, hey, what do you see there? He's like, it wasn't really much there, or dang, like it was a good run. But then even me with him, like, bro, crazy catch, like way to make a miss, like on his long run. Oh my gosh, like that's how you be great. That's how like, bro, beat him to the spot, beat him on the edge, freaking break the arm tackle, and then he's freaking out like 82 yards, or whatever. Like I was like, dude, like that's how you freaking be great, man.
I know you like bowling. Is there any parallels from bowling to football?
I would say a lot of technique, speed, and power and precision. So I think that would correlate a little bit to it.
Is bowling considered? You don't have to be athletic to be a good bowler.
Not at all. Not at all. I feel like it's just like golf. It's all technique. But like obviously golf's a whole different story. That thing makes you angry.
Who are the best golfers on the team?
Mike.
Penix is good.
Mike is good. But Kyle. Kyle is better. KP, Mike.
Oh yeah, I've seen his Instagram.
Brandon Dorless.
Yeah.
Dorless is pretty good. Youngway, Koo is good, but he's with the Giants right now. He's really good. I think those are for sure like the Mount Rushmores right there.
So you got Pitts, Youngway,
and then Mike.
Penix.
MP.
Speaking of Pitts, he's had his best year since his rookie year. What have you seen from Kyle that's allowed him to have this level of success in year 5?
Yeah, I just think a lot of confidence that he has in himself, confidence that he has with just his relationship with Mike, and just really just being on his P's and Q's. I think him being able to do what he can, whether it's blocking, like he's working his tail off just blocking, trying to be the best dual threat tight end that he can be, and I believe that he still has more in the tank that he can do. Like he hadn't even unleashed his full potential of what he can do, but he's doing an outstanding job, and he's just being a beast right now.
What do you see for him in the next few years?
Damn, man. If he's just continuing to do what he's doing, shoot, sky's the limit for him, I think.
What's the next step for Tyler?
Just continuing to make every opportunity that I get on the field, whether it's passing, running the ball, obviously, and then just blocking. Just trying to be that complete back. So it's good that I'm right behind Bijan, just learning from him and stuff, but just making the most out of every opportunity I can. So
what's the relationship with Zach Robinson and the communication, Tyler?
It's great. He tells me what I need to do, what he sees, what he thinks that is going to happen. So it's been good. It's been really good. Just trusting him, trusting his ability for the play calls and stuff. I think he's doing a really great job. You
guys are number 1 in rushing, number 2 in total offense, number 1 in defense. Did you think that this team was going to do this?
I for sure did. Yeah, I for sure did. I felt like, especially the way we worked in the off season, but obviously you don't want to look too far in the future. So it was just like, we have the potential of doing great things. We just got to continue to just keep stacking, just keep building this castle that we're trying to build. And then we'll reach the top of the tower soon.
Falcons Mount Rushmore players.
Roddy White.
Yeah.
Warwick Dunn. Matt Ryan. And Michael Turner.
No, Vic.
Vic. Oh, wait. Are we counting 5 Mount Rushmores or
4?
4? Oh, okay. We'll go Vic then.
All right, we'll give you top 5.
No, fire. That's it then.
Tyler, I know this was last minute. I really appreciate you taking the time, bro.
Appreciate you. Appreciate the opportunity.
My pleasure. Keep crushing. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. No, I appreciate it.
And now it's time for weekly bets presented by Fanatics Sportsbook. Now, as always, I have not seen these bets previously. I'm picking between the two. We got Titans +7 over the Patriots or the Giants +7 at Denver. Give me the Giants +7. This is close because Denver's defense is really, really good. But considering how well Jackson Dart has played, the running game with Scatterboo, and the fact that Denver's offense has been a little Jekyll and Hyde, I'll take the points. We got Colts +1.5 at the Chargers or the Vikings +2 against the Eagles. Give me the Colts +1.5. We've been riding Indy pretty much every week, and it has paid off in a big way. Daniel Jones playing about as well as any quarterback in football. And the Chargers' offensive line is a concern right now. A lot of injuries. So give me the Colts. And then finally, Bucks +5 at the Lions or the Texans +3.5 at the Seahawks on Monday night. Wow. Both those are really good games. I'm going to go Tampa +5, considering how well not only Baker's playing, but this whole team, 5-1, obviously have some serious injuries offensively, but their defense has been pretty solid as well. I thought an impressive performance, especially pass rush-wise, against Mac Jones and the 49ers. And Detroit, I really like them, but have not been consistent enough. And then Houston and Seattle, that's just another game I really like. Kind of like Seattle, but I'm going to stick with Tampa +5. That's a big number at Detroit. And for this week's group chat, we have my conversation with Las Vegas Raiders superfan, all-around good dude, and future Hall of Famer, Damian Lillard. Of course, Dame's from Oakland, grew up a huge fan of the silver and black. He's also a huge fan of Shedeur Sanders, and he's asked me a couple times whether or not the Raiders could go out and make a move for him. So the answer is no. So this is Gino's team. This is Pete Carroll's guy. This is Chip Kelly's guy. And really what it comes down to is I think the Browns are invested enough in Shedeur Sanders to keep him and eventually give him an opportunity to play. Obviously, right now, it is the Dylan Gabriel show. They traded Joe Flacco to Cincinnati, but at some point, Shedeur Sanders will have an opportunity to play. So I'm sorry, Dame, the Raiders aren't going to be making any moves for a backup quarterback. Certainly not for Shedeur Sanders. In the meantime, welcome back to the Pacific Northwest. And that's it for this week's show. Big thank you to Tyler Allegier and Keyshawn Johnson for joining us today. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We'll see you on Saturday.